Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing another Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. So this is actually round 3 of the Princess Pittance tournament that I played in the other day, and so once again I'm playing as Wood Elves, because you know, you had to pick one faction to play as, and that's what I went with. So I mean, it's Lizardmen. So here you can see a slightly different army than usual. I didn't go crazy overboard with War Dancers for once. I know, right? It's crazy. So here you can see I've got 4 units of Eternal Guard with shields, so these guys can soak up some skirmisher fire with their shields, which are silver, so that's 55% resistance, I think, to missiles, so pretty good, pretty good. They've also got anti-large, they've got armor piercing, so that will help sort of fend off some of the big dinos. I do have some War Dancers, so I've got a couple units, so if there's a big skink heavy army, they can just basically, once the front line engages, they can just run through and kill everything. Because yeah, they've got no problems against skinks. Also, it's going to be pretty good against Saurus Warriors and stuff, just to get some damage in. So if I send them in with the line as well, these guys can take a lot of the damage, and the War Dancers get some killing done. So I've also got 3 Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts, so these will do a lot of damage. They've got very good armor piercing damage, just a lot of arrows these guys can, you know, sort of throw at the enemy. So it's pretty good. I like having some range in this matchup, because you've got to have some ranged in order to deal with all the big dinosaurs, because you know, you don't get a lot of tools for sort of big sort of armor piercing units that can go toe to toe with a dinosaur, right, as the Wood Elves. So yeah, you've got to bring some range in this matchup. Also, I've got some Azrai Spears in the back, protecting the back. These guys will be able to chop up a lot of big dinos as well, so so that's good. So I've got a lot of counters for that stuff, but I've also got quite a steady front line that'll be able to hold. Also, Durthu, he's an absolute powerhouse. He will be able to go toe-to-toe with most of the big dinosaurs, and if I get him in the front line with the Sword of Death and Flock of Doom, I can do a lot of damage to enemy infantry. So Durthu will be very useful here. And also, yeah, you don't really expect a huge amount of sort of anti-large armor piercing from the you know, from the Lizardmen when they're up against Wood Elves, because you know, Temple Guard, like, what are they going to fight? It's basically just Durthu or maybe Treekin, but do you really need that? You know, it's hard to tell, but yeah, they're not going to have a lot of anti-large, generally. So I think Durthu's a great pick here. Also, over here, I have 2 units of Sisters of Thorn, because I want to get a lot of buffs out, I want to be able to skirmish some things, and, you know, they're capable, they got that poison damage as well, so it's very useful. So, yeah, that's my army. So let's have a look at my opponent. I don't know how to say his name, it's TFRM, which, how do you pronounce that? I don't know. But anyway, so he's playing as the Lizardman. You can see here he's got 2 skink, well, 1 skink skirmisher, 1 chameleon skink. I think he's got the same over here. Yep. He's also got some Cold One spear riders. So these guys, they are anti-large and yeah, armor piercing. So Durthu will have to watch out for these, but hopefully he'll be more worried about my cavalry. So that's good. He's got 2 skink chiefs. Obviously these guys would be able to snipe out Spellsinger very quickly. So I'm glad I brought the Branch Wraith, which I didn't actually mention, but yes, I do have a Branch Wraith. So yeah, so I'm not too worried about these guys, and I do have some ranged in this engagement, so I should be able to chase them off fairly well. So it could work. Also in the front lines, he's got a couple of Saurus Warriors, he's got some skink cohorts with javelins, and some more Saurus Warriors there, and some more there. So fair few Saurus Warriors. Oh, and he's got another skink cohort in the back. And they're led by Lord Mazda Mundi on Zlak, so he's going to do a lot of damage to infantry. It's going to be very scary. Saurus Warriors, again, very sturdy front line, and actually I think skink cohort with javelins are a great pick in this, because, I mean, they're just skink cohorts, but they also have javelins. They've got the same stats. They'll perform just as well in melee as the skink cohorts. But those javelins are going to really hurt. You know, if I ran in with, yeah, had a whole front line of War Dancers, those early javelins would do so much damage. It would really limit my ability to, you know, sort of kill them as easily, because I take that initial damage. So I think that's a really good shout against, you know, sort of low armored faction like the Wood Elves. So I think it's pretty good. So let's speed things up and see how it goes. So there'll be a bit of posturing here, because I can see he's going for the high ground here. So I'm sort of edging forward. I know I've got the ranged advantage, so if he wants to just sit up at the top, I can just snipe him out with, you know, my archers. So I'm not too worried, but I am going to try and posture up here. So I've got sort of a bit of buffer here against his skirmishers, you know, hiding things in the trees. It gives me some options. So here, one thing that's a bit of a mistake is I kept my Sister Thorn together the whole time. And really, I should have just had, like, one side, one the other, because I'm not using these guys to sort of engage cavalry or to necessarily get rear charges while he's still got this cavalry. And I'm basically just, you know, baiting out a net by having them you know, these 2 units together, which I do sort of bait out to fairly good effect, as you'll see soon. So yeah, a lot of posturing here. So he's basically moving his cavalry to counter my cavalry, because he knows that, you know, these skinks won't do anything. I could just charge through them, you know, be able to poison them with my missiles and then hit them with the Sisters of the Thorn. So he's got to keep them guarded. And he's doing a pretty good job of it. He's also got the skink chiefs sort of, you know, ready to come in and, you know, attack where they need to be. Mazdamundi staying on one side, because you can see he wants to make sure that net will reach when he nets down my cavalry. So I know he's going to do that. So here you'll see I'm keeping my Glade Guard fairly central, and I'm just moving my War Dancers to one side as well, so these guys can help in the cavalry engagement, which is pretty inevitable at this point. I can see he's, you know, gearing for it. So I'm going to make sure my Glade Guard are, you know, in a position that they can back up any fight, because that will be a lot of damage, 3 units of Glade Guard, you know. I don't think Cold One Spear Riders, they're not very good at being shot by Starfire Shaft, so it should be interesting. So still more posturing. I'm slowly edging my army forward here. So, you know, because this front line, I'm pretty happy to engage his front line. Just with Durthu in support, these guys aren't going to last. So it should work out okay. So here, moving up my Glade Guard again, I think I do try and get some early damage on Mazdamundi, but yeah, he's backing away. So I think that might, yeah, just going for the skirmishers. So I'll do a bit of early damage to the skirmishers. He is trying to move away. So, you know, I don't get as much damage off, but he's scared to come any closer, so that's good. He does have a lot of skirmishers coming this side. Obviously, low armor on the Sisters of Thorn, so they are going to take some damage from these skirmishers. So, you know, it's going to be tough. So here you see, a bit blobbed up, and I'm going to get netted. So here, I've got my archers nice and close, and my war dancers with Azrai spears are here, so they can come in and help the engagement. Unfortunately, they'll have to wait for the net to end, which is always very scary. So, and as well, you know, these skirmishers are going to do a lot of damage to my war dancers too. So that's pretty scary. But here, you know, I do get the Curse of Vanra here to limit their killing power, and Shield of Thorns as well to put up missile resistance in this area, you know, will help against the skirmishers. So I've got some buffs to try and help, and here I'm starting to get some good missile fire on them. You see, it's doing a lot of damage. So, oh yeah, so that spell comes down, and yeah, so you see Glade Guard do have magic damage, so this shield will actually protect from that magic damage. That was really good use of that spell there. So here, he's still coming in. It shouldn't be long before they start, you know, rampaging, and I can just finish off the unit. Unfortunately, my War Dance are taking a lot of damage from these guys. One of my Sisters of the Thorn is about to rout. So things aren't looking great over here. I was hoping my trap would be a bit more successful, but now that shield is gone, yeah, I'm doing crazy damage to my archers. Because trees don't block as many shots as they used to. So I don't feel bad about shooting through these trees. I'm not losing a lot of, you know, effectiveness out of it. So charging the front line now. So this should go okay. I'm slightly lopsided, so I've got slightly more weight on this side. So he does have one more skink cohort he can use to flank. So Sisters of Thorn are coming back. I don't really mind getting too injured. You see, I've completely knackered his cavalry, which is great. But I don't mind too much about Sisters of Thorn getting really injured in that early engagement, because they're going to come back, and I'm still going to have those free spells. So it might not be the best use of them. If I just sent in one unit, kept the other one elsewhere, I could have done some more work. Probably could have got better value. But I'm happy that his cavalry are pretty much dead now. That's pretty much what I wanted from that engagement, because it means that I'm free just to move away from his enemy, you know, my opponent. It means I can shoot at other targets. I'm just safer with these guys, you know, almost out of action, I think. You know, I've still got the buffs, and that's going to help my front line, which I don't think he's really got good answers for, to be honest. So you see, kind of winning this, but I mean, you know, Durthu's in here. He's causing a lot of havoc for these skinks. He's going to be using spells. I've got the Branch Wraith bolstering people, and that is a lot of expense in these Saurus Warriors. So Sisters of Thorn come in just for a quick attack here, but these Saurus Warriors are nearly dead while fighting the War Dancers. So War Dancers do perform pretty well with that anti-infantry, and these skinks aren't going to really get much work done against the War Dancers either. So here I'm getting some good ranged fire on Mazdamundi now, and he has come in to try and snipe Durthu for some reason. This seems really odd to me. So I get a nice Flock of Doom on all of his skirmishers, so you can see they've all taken a substantial amount of damage now, which is really good for me. So still got some War Dancers in here, they need to get in, you know, get into the fray here. I was very slow to micro these guys, I don't think I could see them, honestly. So now the cavalry is coming in again, so I'm supporting with the Sisters of Thorn, and now the War Dancers are coming in the bag. I'm really hoping the Sisters of Thorn survive this. I can't remember if they do or not, because that is rough. But, you know, they're not pinned in place, so they're able to countercharge, which is really good. And they do have that physical resist, it does help them a lot. So here you can see Mazdamundi is absolutely toast. So he's using cold-blooded on himself, but he's getting shot a lot, so he's not really getting the benefit of that. So I'm not sure if he shatters, but I'm pretty sure he ends up out of this fight. He's just got such a tiny amount of health. Yeah, look at that, 300. So I also hit him with one of those, whatever that's called, I can't remember. So he's pretty low. Actually, is he shattered now? Yeah, he's shattered. That shattered him. So that's Mazdamundi out, and he hasn't used all his free spells yet. So that is a huge amount of utility lost. So here the War Dancers still fighting 2 units, and they're doing okay. Like, War Dancers will do pretty well against this front line, but they're just so vulnerable to skirmishers that I couldn't rely on them as my front line. I had to have Eternal Guard, with that anti-large, that anti-armor, in case he had sort of a dinosaur heavy army, but he didn't. He went sort of infantry and skirmisher heavy, which, I don't know, maybe he's seen my builds before and knows that I tend to rely on War Dancers, so he relied on skirmishers. You never know. That could be the case. So here you can see Skink Chiefs. I'm getting some shots on them, but I'm having to try and move these guys away. It's very irritating. But I'm getting a lot of good fire on these guys, so that's not bad. And his front line is pretty much done now. So here again are the Melkoths on the Saurus Warriors. So I'm just using Melkoths on whatever is, causing me the most grief at the moment. Maybe I could use on some skirmishers, but honestly, they're not doing great. Those skirmishers are getting really hurt by the archers. So that's pretty good for me. And I've just got an overwhelming amount of infantry. And I'm going to be able to posture up these Eternal Guard in front to take some of the damage from these guys. Because I don't mind them getting shot at, honestly. They've served their purpose. There's no more big dinosaurs to kill. So I'll just let the shields soak up some ammo. That's fine by me, while I deal with all this nonsense in the back line. So yeah, more skinks running. So it's going pretty well, honestly. I've got a lot of tools, and he's just got nothing that can deal with Durthu anymore. Because, I mean, what has he got? So, I mean, Skink Chiefs, they can shoot at him. But, they don't have armor piercing, do they? No, they only got poison damage. He'll do a bit, but, I've still got Earthbloods, is the thing. I've still got my Branch Wraith, so I can still heal him up. The Skirmishers, they're not going to do much. Again, just no armor piercing values on any of his units. So Durthu can basically win this on his own now. They can kite him around for a while, but, I'm just not in any danger anymore. So that's pretty good. A lot of my infantry is pretty haggard, but they won that frontline engagement, and, I've still got my Sisters of Thorn. So they are resilient, and they've still got those free spells, if I haven't used them already, I'm not sure. But yeah, these guys are just absolute troopers. You can see he is going for them though with the Chameleon Skinks, and that is a good choice, because they're going to get wrecked. Yeah, they just lost 2 models, I think. So that's not good for me. So I'm going to try and run away, and I think I will finally lose those Sisters of Thorn. I left them there a bit stupidly, to be honest. So that's a shame. But now I am getting some good range fire with my Glade Guard. Although I am running out of ammo now. So over here with the Skink Chief, this is actually a really good move by him, because, Durthu isn't totally close here, and you can see I've got a lot of infantry getting bogged down. So I hit him with one of them, just try and help break their stuff. It helps break my stuff more, to be honest. So that was an incredibly good move, just using the Skink Chiefs to rear charge, because, with my units this injured, they don't have to do much damage for my guys to then break. So I still have a lot of infantry, though, with these ranged units. I mean, they're going to do okay. Honestly, with some backup, I've still got some very healthy War Dancers. So, it's not so bad. So here, I'm trying to use the Sister Thorn to chase them down. One unit is obviously broken, because there's only 4 of them left. The other one, only 9 left, but I'm trying to chase, use that ammunition to pin him down. It's not going great, though, but luckily there is still Skink Chief over here. He has split up a bit. So finally, my War Dancers run away. Not shattered yet, though. But here you can see there's a lot dealing with the Skink Chief right now. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Oh, there's Skinks there too. Yeah, the flag's over there, but they're over there. So that's it. His front line is gone. He's got nothing left on the ground. And, your Skink Chiefs can't perform on their own. But, so yeah, some good plays. For both of us there. He did well sort of rear charge things when he could. But he just lost his maneuverability very early. So I really didn't mind that, that I got a lot of damage on my Sister Thorn early, because to me these were the biggest threats. These Cold One spears, they could have done a lot of damage to Durthu, and frankly they could have harassed my back line a lot. I mean, if you look, my Glade Guard basically full health on 2 units. 1 unit got injured, but that got dived on by 2 Skink Chiefs. But I was happy for them to get attacked because, it gave me target practice, right? I was able to shoot at the Skink Chiefs with the other Glade Guard. So, there are a few things, a few engagements which looked favourable. But I was happy to, let them be in that fight, because, even if I came out worse in that fight, they lost a tool that they needed to deal with the rest of my army. So sometimes it is worth losing a fight, honestly. That first engagement was fairly even. I lost a lot of Sisters of Thorn, but he lost a lot of Cold One Riders. And actually, I think the Cold One Spear Riders are 1,000 as well. I think they're the same price. So, so it's a fairly even trade there, but these were just way more valuable, because I still get utility out of my Sisters of Thorn. you know, when the unit is completely decimated. They've still got those free spells I can use to augment the rest of my army, whereas the Cold One Riders can't do anything once they're that knackered, you know. So it worked out pretty well. I was happy with that engagement, but I think I should have just split up my Sister Thorn, charged in my front line, and basically let him try and dive on one of the sisters rather than two, because you know he would have needed to have done some damage at some point. So yeah, I think that would have helped. You know, I didn't need to bait him in with all of the units, because yeah, they would have been handy for just chasing his Skink Chiefs around, you know, for the rest of the map. You know, the rest of the match rather. So you know, pros and cons, I think, with strategies like that. But sometimes you can sort of have a pretty tough engagement just to destroy something that you know needs killing. So anyway, guys, so yeah, thanks to TFRM. I still don't know how to pronounce that, honestly. I don't know if you just have to pronounce it TFRM. I have no idea. Or is it Tufram? I don't know. So, but yeah, great match, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next tournament that I enter. So, guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.